You made it. The last day of new work assigned. After today's school day, there's no more work that I'm emailing your parents. The next few days are just to finish any work that maybe you haven't finished. So say you didn't finish all your writing yesterday, or say you didn't do your math homework yesterday. The next few days are for you to finish that so that you can turn them in so I can grade them. In fact, remember, we changed it from 180 this year because of the COVID-19. We changed it to 179. So this is officially the 174th day of school, but we count Fridays, family Fridays. So tomorrow, Friday, is actually the 175th, even though there's no new work. So there's 5 official days left in school. Next Wednesday, the 20th, is your day to turn in your homework to me. I have something for you, so I can't wait to see you that day. And then Thursday, I don't know all the details yet, but Thursday is going to be our parade. So I can't wait to find out all about that. Okay, are you ready for another first grade joke? It's actually not our last jokes because next week we're going to do our last Zoom meeting. And our last Zoom meeting, you can tell a joke if you'd like. So bring your jokes, okay? Look them up. Find a joke book at home if you have one. But here's mine. Do you remember what a Dalmatian dog is? Like in the movie The 101 Dalmatians? Why don't Dalmatians like to take baths? Why don't they like to take baths? Because they don't like to look spotless. Spotless is without spots, and what do Dalmatians have all over them? They have spots. Do you want me to do one more? Okay. Let me see if I can find it. I feel like I might have done this one first grade, so if I did, I'm sorry that I'm redoing one, but it's still one of my favorite ones, so let's do it. Are you ready? How do you keep a dog from barking in the back seat of the car? Do any of you take your dog for rides today or bark when they're in the back seat? How do you keep them from barking in the back seat of the car? Ready? You put them in the front seat. Then are they barking in the back seat anymore? No, because now they're barking in the front seat. Okay, first grade, I want to show you a little bit. Look, I have my poster from our drive-bys. It was so fun to get to wave at so many of you. You look at my R fell off, so I just made one for right now until I can fix it in case I can use it for the parade. Okay, I want to talk about Bible first today. This is actually not our last Bible lesson, even though this is your last day of schoolwork. And that's because next Monday, the 18th, I'm actually going to send a video because I'm going to teach my very, very favorite Bible lesson of the whole entire year that day. And in fact, inside the bags that you guys picked up yesterday, there's a tube of toothpaste, and it looked really weird, and it had a little note on it that said it's for the 18th of May. That is to go with that video. So on Monday, tune in. I'm still going to do story time all next week. So if moms or dads need to take a shower or cook breakfast or something like that, I'll still do story time, and I just can't say goodbye to you yet. But on Monday, I'm still going to teach a Bible lesson, okay? So tune in for that. But today in Bible, so all week we've been talking about what God has done, what the Bible is actually all about. And on Monday, we started with creation, and we talked about God's plan with Adam and Eve and how that plan changed, even though God knew it was going to change, because Adam and Eve sinned. And then we talked about how God's plan was to send Jesus to die for our sins. And he was arrested in Gethsemane and taken to the cross. But then remember what happened? On the third day, he rose. And guess what we got? What does this look like? Just a gift. Should I see what's inside? Throw out the paper. Throw out the paper. Well, guess what's inside? It's empty. Because the empty tomb was our gift. Jesus defeated death and sin to save us. First grade, it tells us that when we accept Jesus into our heart, the Bible tells us that when we accept Jesus into our heart, he lives with us forever. He won't ever leave you. He'll always be with you for all of eternity. And then it talks to us in the book of Revelations about heaven. Today you're going to actually fill out a bubble map about heaven, and I want to tell you just a tiny bit about it. If you want to look in your Bible, you can. I put a bookmark in it. Revelation is the very last book of the Bible. So is it in the Old Testament or the New Testament? It must be in the New Testament because it's the very last book. We're going to look at almost the very last chapter. And I wrote these verses on your lesson plans for your parents, okay? So here's my book of Revelations. You can see it. I'm going to go to the big 21. Guess what? There's only 22 chapters in Revelation. So if I turn to the end of the book, look at, there's the end of Revelations. And then it goes into things like glossaries and indexes and things like that. But here's the very end of the books of the Bible. But if I go to Revelations 21, guess what it says? I just underlined a little bit. In verse 4, it says, let me find the itty bitty 4. Oh, I'm actually going to go to verse 3, okay? I'm going to go to verse 3. It says, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. He will dwell with them. First grade, when we are in heaven, God's dwelling place, the place he is with us. Now, when we're here on earth, God lives in our heart. But he doesn't necessarily walk around on the earth. He shows up sometimes in other things, but he's with people in their heart. But when we get to heaven, God will live with us. He will still be in us and with us, but he will be among us. His people will be among him in heaven because we will live with God in heaven. Here's what it says in the itty bitty 4. So remember, I'm in big 21, itty bitty 4. When we are in heaven, he will wipe every tear from their eyes. Boys and girls, will there be any tears in heaven? Absolutely not. God tells us right here in his word, no tears in heaven. I'm going to skip over, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what heaven's like over. If I go over to verse 21 and 22. 21b says, the great streets of the city were gold. What are the streets made of? Have you guys ever heard that before? Have everybody ever maybe heard a song or something about heaven? And it says, the streets are made of gold. You know where they got that? The book of Revelation. And then if you go down, it says, here's 23. The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine its light on it, for the glory of God gives the city the light. In heaven, it doesn't need the sun or the moon to have light. Do we need the sun and the moon on earth? Yes, we learned that this year, didn't we? We need those, or we wouldn't be able to see. But in heaven, the glory of God is its light. Isn't that so, so cool? Something else here I want to read over here for you. I'm actually going to skip back to 4. When we were talking about how there's no crying, there's no tears, there will be no more death or crying or pain, for all of those things will pass away. So first grade, you're going to do a circle map today. It looks like this. Bubble map, excuse me. A bubble map about heaven. And I want you to tell me some things about heaven. That there are no tears, no death, no mourning or crying or pain. There are gold streets, and God's glory will be its light. That's what heaven's going to be like. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? I can't wait to be there with you. I wish we were together already. And hopefully we will get together this summer and have a good time together. But you know the best part? We get to spend eternity together in heaven. That makes my heart so happy, first grade. I love it. Okay, so I want you to do great in your Bible today as you're talking about and thinking about heaven. I also wanted to show you, can I show you 2 of our friends and what they've been up to? Look at, this was last week when we finished up our bus times. There's Miss Eliza and her sister. Can you see with Dr. Fryer, Principal Fryer? And there I am in the window. And their 6th grade Mrs. Brecht is there too. Wasn't that so fun that we got to come by and see so many of you? Those of you who I didn't get to see, I'm so glad I got to send you a video and at least still wave and say hi. This one, can you see who that is in this picture? Yes, that's Miss Annabelle. If you look really close, I know it's a little hard to see in my picture, but guess what she's doing? Can you see the smoke coming up from here? She's doing our science experiment, and she made that egg suck into the jar. Isn't that so cool? Because the air pressure just brought it back in. I wonder how many of you made secret messages with lemon juice already. Of course, you don't have to, but just for fun. Okay, the other thing I want to talk to you about today, we're going to talk a little bit about math. In just a minute, I want you to press pause, and I want you to go get your math page. But before we talk about math, I want to tell you at the end of this video today, I have a special guest reader. And the reason I have a special guest reader today is because I asked Miss Wakefield. I had to think for a second. My brain just went whoop. Miss Wakefield to read you guys a story today, because this is your last day of work So even though we're giving you a few days to make it up, officially you're done with first grade work. So you, at the end of this day, are really going to go into second grade. You're going to be second graders. So I wanted you to get a chance to say hi on a video to your new teacher. I know you're going to love her. She's so sweet and so nice, and I know you're just going to love second grade. But as Tatum and I were talking about on email, I hope you'll still come back and see me. You know that I get to wave at you when you put your backpacks down and get to say hi. And I hope you'll still come and see me and share with me all the good stuff going on in your lives. And that I'm here always to talk to you because I love you so much. And I'm going to miss you terribly when you're not in first grade. But I'm also so proud of you. Almost second graders. Okay, everybody, press pause. Go get your math page. It looks like this. I'll wait for you. Okay, did you press pause? Do you have your math page? I'm going to do it right here because here's the deal about math today. You should be able to do this 100% on your own. This is just review. Just review, okay? But I'm still going to go over it with you. Are you ready? Okay. So on number 1, it says to find the area in square centimeters. How do we find the area? Tell me out loud. How do I find the area? Yes, you count the boxes. Everybody put your finger on number 3 for me. Is your finger there? Okay, put your finger on one of the half triangles. Do you see that? Do you see how there's a half triangle there and a half triangle there and a half triangle there and a half triangle there? In fact, there's 4 half triangles on this one. Well, a half and a half equals what? What does a half and a half equal? If this is a half and this is a half, and I put them together, what do I have? I have a whole. So when I'm doing the brown ones, do I count that half as a 1? No. I have to put the 2 together and count it as 1. And then I have to put the 2 together and count it as 1. So don't be tricked on that. Just slow down. Count the 2 halves as 1. If you want to, circle them and write 1. So you could circle this one and this one and write 1. Okay, when you get down here, you've done this a bazillion times. You have to match the right dots to the right dots. Now, I don't want you to get confused on this one. I'm going to give you a hint. Are you ready for the hint if you're really listening? You know how we do that in class? I say, here's a give me, as long as you're really, really listening. Is everybody really, really listening? Okay, here's your give me. Are you ready for your give me? This looks like a bar graph right here, but guess what? Those are really supposed to be pictures of like koosh balls. So if those are pictures, then what kind of graph is that? Is that a bar graph or is that a pictograph if those are pictures? Did you pick up on my hint? I hope you got that right. I can't wait to see it. Okay, you're going to come down. Press pause. If you're doing that, press pause. Ready to come back? Okay. When you're ready for number 3, oh, it's not number 3. It's the third one I'm talking about. Ready for number 7. After you press pause, then come back to this video. Okay, here's number 7. It says, what object is at C3? First grade, you know how to look on the coordinate grid right here to figure out what's at C3. Write the name of the fruit that's at C3, okay? Okay. Press pause and then come back to number 8. Ready? Look at, you guys all know what that is. I bet all of you know what that is. I think at my house, we probably have 6 of those. That's an Xbox controller, isn't it? Okay. It's what you use to, I don't know, is that what it's called? Is that called an Xbox controller? Is that the right thing? I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm not right on what it's called. But here's the deal. You have to read this question. It says, Riley scored 263 points in the video game. Last time she scored 151. What word is it, first grade? Difference. What is the difference? So am I adding or am I? Did you say it? Did I hear you? I hope so. Okay, look at, I put a little post-it note on there because it's my little, I didn't want you to see it while you were figuring it out. What is the difference? What comes first in subtraction, first grade? So is 151 bigger or is 263 bigger? Okay, write the problem. Did you write it? D, 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 D. That's me waiting for you to write the problem. Did you circle those numbers? Does it look like this? 263 comes first, 151 comes second. Make sure the ones place is under the ones, the tens is under the tens, and the hundreds under the hundreds. Okay, press pause and figure it out. Then come to number 9. Malaya has 12. Malala has 12 beads on her bracelet. Aria has 14 on hers. How many beads are there all together? What are you doing? Are you adding or subtracting? You are. Yes, you guys, that wasn't even hard, right? That was like, I got that down. I know all together. Okay, I don't want you to get stuck on time. So here's what number, let's see what question that is. Question number 10 says. Question number 10 has a clock. Does the clock say 7 o'clock? No, it does not. I'm trying to trick you. What time does the clock say? Let's count by fives. Remember, we count by fives between the numbers because the clock is just a big number line. Then we count by fives. We count by ones for the hour and fives for the minutes. Okay, ready? Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15. Okay, so it says the train arrives at 7:15. Does my clock say 7:15? My clock is a little broken though, you guys. There it goes. I guess it's okay. There you go. Sorry, I thought my clock was a little off. The train arrived at 7:15. The next train leaves at 7:45. How much time is in between? Here's what I want you to do, first grade. On your paper, I want you to count by fives. Don't forget to use our hops. In fact, let me show you. Let me get a pencil and I'm going to just show you real quick. Oh, I almost dropped it. Here, we're going to count by fives. I'm not going to do it all though because I want you to be able to do it yourself because I know you can do it. But let me show you. Remember how we do that number line? I count by fives. Count by fives. I start at 15 after, and then I'm going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, and figure out where 7:45 is. And then tell me how many minutes that is. And last but not least, press pause while you figure it out. You have to count the money at the bottom because it says, Vito counted the money in his mother's change purse. And then keep reading. It tells you how much she had. This is what it shows. I made mine in different colors when I wrote the amounts above it. Can I give you a hint? You can count this by counting on in your head. If you can do that, you can count on your head by putting the bigger numbers. But sometimes it helps if we put our brains on paper. I gave you a fake number. This is not the answer. I didn't give you a give me on this one. I didn't give it to you. But let me show you an example, okay? So let's say that I said she had 1 quarter, 2 dimes, which would be 20 cents, 2 nickels, and 1 penny. I can write those amounts down. So I can write how much 2 quarters are worth. How much are they worth? 25, 50, 75, $1. So I could write 50 cents here. I could write those amounts here and I can add them up, okay? That may be a better strategy for you than trying to count on your head. So use that space and do that. If you want to try counting it on your head, you can. But if not, then I want you to write it like this. Now this one's fake. This isn't how much money she really has because I want you to figure it out, okay? Show me your work here. First grade, I want to see your work. Make sure you're showing me your brain on paper. Okay, guys, that is all I have for you on this Thursday, except for some story time. I hope your math went fantastic. I hope your Bible went fantastic. Stay tuned, and Miss Wetback is going to come and give us a little comfy story time so that you can remember who she is, because it's been a little bit since we've been at school. And you can also kind of hear how much she's excited to see you. So, first grade, bye. I will see you Monday for our Bible lesson, okay? Have a great story time. Bye.
Hi there, first grade, soon to be second grade. It's me, Miss Wakefield. First of all, thank you, Mrs. Ellis, for letting me be here for your story time today. I'm so excited to be able to read to you guys one of my all-time favorite books. I hope you guys are all doing well at home. Just know that we are so proud of you. All of you guys are awesome. Big virtual high fives and hugs. We miss you guys, and again, like I said, you're doing an awesome job, so keep it up. So today we are going to be reading If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which, like I said, is one of my all-time favorite books. Some of you might know this story, so go ahead and just sit back and enjoy. Some of you, this might be your first time hearing it. So either way, awesome, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear this. Let's get started. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in the mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks in the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow a few times. So you'll read to him from one of your favorite books, and he'll ask to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. So there you go. There is if you give a mouse a cookie. So remember, next time you're giving a mouse a cookie, he's probably going to have a lot of other demands too. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you again for letting me read to you guys. I love you guys, and we'll hope to see you soon.